And this is Luke 22, verses 47 through to 53. While he was still speaking, and he was just saying to his disciples who were asleep because of sorrow, he just said, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you won't enter into temptation." And while he was speaking, behold, a crowd came. And this was a crowd of soldiers. A crowd came, and one called Judas, one of the 12, was preceding them, and he approached Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus said to him, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" And when those who were around him saw what was going to happen, they said, "Lord, shall we strike with the sword?" And one of them struck the slave of the high priest and cut off his ear. But Jesus answered and said, "Stop! No more of this." And he touched his ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the chief priests and officers of the temple and elders who had come against him, "Have you come out with swords and clubs as you would against a robber? While I was with you daily in the temple, you didn't lay hands on me. But this hour and the power of darkness are yours." So there's a crowd comes out. Jesus is waking his disciples. They're coming to, and Judas is there. And Jesus says, "Are you going to betray me with a kiss, Judas?" And perhaps it's Jesus is pressing him and pressing him. "Are you really going to do this, Judas? Are you really going to do this?" And Judas does. And one comes and cuts off the starts swinging his sword around, and he cuts the ear of the slave of the high priest. And Jesus says, "No more of this, no more." And so they stop, and Jesus touches this man's head, and he heals his ear. What a story that man would have had subsequent to the cross and when Jesus rose again from the dead. Some say that, I think in another gospel it's explained that it's Peter doing this. And of course, because he'd done this, he had assaulted uh, this servant of the high priest. He would have been guilty, and they could have arrested him, except that Jesus healed this man, this servant. And so Peter could approach later on to the courtyard of the high priest because, well, there was no evidence that he had struck the high priest's servant because Jesus had healed him. I suppose it would have been, even if they had, they would say, well, how come your ear's still there? Well, Jesus healed me. And Jesus said, "You've come out with clubs and swords, like I was a criminal, like I was a robber. And you could have arrested me any time in the temple courts, but this is your hour, and the power of darkness is yours." And we see how that unwinds over the next 24 hours.